Welcome to Let That Sink In, episode 4. My name is Tiffany Smith, and I am the Marketing and Communications Director at PM and Associates. And as always, I am joined by my co-host, Todd Morgan, who is an outside sales rep in St. Louis for PM and Associates. How are you doing today, Todd?
Doing great. How are you, Tiffany?
I am wonderful. We are joined today by Carl Pinto from Bradford White, and we are so excited to be talking to Carl today. Carl A. Pinto Jr. is the Senior Director of Marketing Communications for Bradford White Corporation. His responsibilities include oversight of Bradford White's corporate and subsidiary marketing, public relations, and internal communications. He also represents Bradford White as a liaison to various industry organizations, where he helps to support initiatives focused on driving plumbing and HVAC industry awareness and workforce development. He began his career with Bradford White in 2012 after having served for nearly 3 decades in a variety of marketing, public relations, and process improvement roles with several Fortune 100 companies. He's a certified Six Sigma Green Belt and holds a variety of communication and leadership certifications. Carl is a graduate of Lock Haven University of Pennsylvania, where he is currently co-chair of their business school's alumni advisory board. Welcome, Carl. We are so happy to have you on episode 4 of Let That Sink In. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, it sounds great. Thanks, Tiffany and Todd. Pleasure to be here today with you guys.
It's
Absolutely.
great to have
you
you
are
here,
so
Carl.
excited to talk about Bradford White today. And I think one of the biggest topics we want to talk about is a very important anniversary that you guys have coming up this year. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Absolutely. Well, we have our 30th anniversary coming up, and some people listening to this might go, 30? I thought Bradford White's been around a lot longer than that. And we have. In fact, Bradford White's roots go back to 1881, but it was 30 years ago. It'll be 30 years in July of this year. In fact, July 2nd, 1992, that we'll celebrate the 30th anniversary of our commitment to professional installation and wholesale distribution.
Wow.
So, yeah, Bradford White had evolved over the years, over the decades. And then in 1992, then Chairman Bob Carnival really worked to get Bradford White back into the hands of the employees. So the company became employee-owned and American-owned at that time. They renewed the commitment to American manufacturing. So all of our, we have our manufacturing facility in Middleville, Michigan, and we also have manufacturing in New Hampshire. And then the third part of that was the commitment to wholesale distribution and the professional contractor. Water heaters are complex, getting more complex, as are boilers. And so we'd like to make sure that homes, businesses get those properly selected. So it's about specification just as much as it is installation. A lot of people go out and try to buy products and they think, oh, that looks like the one that's in my house, and they'll buy it and put it in, and suddenly it doesn't work. Or they don't acknowledge the fact that things have changed in their home since the original product was in there. So it's about installation, getting the right product. And so that model's worked very well. In fact, if you look at the Bradford White trilogy, or the flag or the waves, I'm going to show you this piece here, you'll see this symbol or logo for Bradford White is representative of contractor, wholesaler, and manufacturer. And that, a lot of people don't know, that is what's behind that wave, or three stacked lines. So
what a great meeting. And you talk a lot about commitment and commitment to the pro. And where has this led you?
Well, it's been a very effective business model for our customers. We are very true to, what we do. You're not going to see a Bradford White product in a box store. You're not going to see it at Home Depot or a Lowe's or any other location like that. We are constantly in the field listening to our contractors, and everything we do is about our customers. I was at a meeting last week with the company leadership, and I heard Bruce Carnival, our current president and CEO, he made a statement about, do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And he was talking about that in terms of the customers.
Yeah.
And everybody in the room just kind of looked at each other and said, yeah, we get it. That's what we do.
Yeah.
And I've been in a couple of different industries. I absolutely love this industry and the people I work with. I was at a contractor convention earlier this week, and all my discussions about what can we do for you? What can we do to help you grow your business? What can we do with our products to help you improve? And it's just, I think having that focus on the professional and not worrying about other distribution means on the retail side of the house just helps us sharpen that focus. And it's what we do every day. So it just makes it easy. It really is.
It's one of the things.
Bradford White people. Yeah.
Sorry, Carl, I didn't mean to step on you there. It's one of the things, though, that I love about Bradford White. I'm proud of the fact that you're not going to find our product inside of any of the big box stores. Right. And then another thing that has come up when I have visited Bradford White and taken a tour of the plant and things like that, and we talk about the fact that the Bradford White comes in that white box with that blue lettering on there. And there's kind of a story behind that. And it's that we don't OEM these heaters for a slew of other manufacturers and let them put their name on the box. And am I accurate there, or am I getting this story somewhat right, Carl?
Yeah, I mean, that's correct. You're not going to, a Bradford White is a Bradford White. You're not going to find a Bradford White by any other name out there. So that is absolutely true.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
And that is something that we've held true to as well in terms of the product distribution and the brand identification. Absolutely.
Obviously, Bradford White could be a bigger company from a dollar standpoint if you were doing something like that. But there's obviously, again, that commitment to the trade and the professional is why you guys have chosen to stay that way.
Absolutely. You know, that reminds me, if I go back to another comment that the founder of the modern day Bradford White, Bob Carnival, had made. He saw this opportunity to go after wholesale distribution and contractor only. And there were a lot of non-believers. In fact, Bob said there were many people said, "You're crazy. This will never work. You'll be out of business in 18 months." Mm-hmm. And here we are 30 years later, and the commitment continues. And we continue to get stronger. We continue to develop more, not just products, but services and support around that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
We can do to help contractors grow their business, from training initiatives to providing more information through different vehicles like our For the Pro website, which will be revamped and relaunched later this year.
Excellent.
Through that, listen to the voice of our customers to decide what can make that a better offering for our contractor customers. So.
Can you talk about a few of the updates that are happening on the For the Pro?
Yeah, well, sure. A lot of it will be streamlining.
Okay.
One of the things that as our contractors become more digitally adept at using online resources, they want things fast. Mm-hmm. I remember going to a national PHCC convention maybe 6 or 7 years ago, and a lot of contractors came through and they had their phones and they said, "I have this device. My son or daughter or somebody else who came into the business has asked me to get a smartphone." They said, I don't know what to do with it. I just text and I just make calls." 2 years later, just prior to the pandemic, those same people were coming through holding up that phone and going, "You should see what I could do with this." And I went, "Oh, here we go." You know, we have to make sure that we have resources in that space. So we put out, very simply, we put out a YouTube page. A couple of years ago, we heard from contractors, they wanted us to protect that space, protect what they were doing. And now YouTube is where everybody goes. And we saw that there were a lot of Bradford White videos out in the YouTube space for contractors, and they weren't necessarily representing our brand as well as we wanted it to be represented. We appreciated the promotion of the Bradford White brand and some of those, but we thought, you know, if there's going to be the videos out there about Bradford White, let's make sure that we're making them and demonstrating the best practices that we want to exhibit for our customers and for any homeowners that would see that. You know, our part of that was, how do we protect the brand of the professional contractor?
Right.
So we opened up the YouTube page. We can continue to replenish that, and those assets are also available within that For the Pro space. But within there's training tips, not just relative to product, but things on how to run your business. Some of the audience today might know Ellen Rohr, who is a very successful plumbing and business professional in our industry. And Ellen teamed up with us about 2 years ago to put together some content to help contractors actually build their business, like succession planning, financial planning and budgeting and things like that. Things that she is an expert in. We're actually making the products and selling them and distributing them and training on the products. So we're starting to look at what other industry experts that are out there. We're also working with someone now that in probably a follow-up to the For the Pro relaunch, we'll bring in there some business tips on promoting contractors' businesses and how they might engage better in PR, social media, and advertising for their businesses. At a convention in Kansas City last year, was the PHCC Connect convention. We had a speaker on that topic. It was a big hit. And after the presentation, a lot of people came by our booth to speak with that person who did the presentation. And I don't want to reveal the name here. I'll let it be a surprise when we launch that person's corner within For the Pro later this year. So
that's cool. Fantastic. Yeah.
I just used For the Pro this past week with a contractor who, again, talking to the YouTube portion of it that you were mentioning, and maybe, as you mentioned, you appreciate the folks putting out videos about Bradford White, but it might misrepresent. And the other thing, guy called me up, and it wasn't a real doozy of a question. It was really just replacing a gas valve. But so the first thing I did, Carl, was I went to YouTube, and then you realize that just by doing a generic search in YouTube, you're going to then have to weed through a lot of 9-minute, 14-minute videos of guys who are just, they're chomping on before you really get into the meat of what you need. And then I went over
don't
to
help you at all.
That
exactly. By the end of the video.
We tried the 2-minute rule. If we can't say it in 2 minutes or less, it's probably too much.
Right. That's exactly where I was going to go. So what I did then was
I think that should be a general rule for everybody, right? Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. It was great. Found about a 2-minute, 15-second long video. And I walked the contractor through what we needed to do, and we were done. But Perfect. Again, it's a great tool to avoid having to basically, find that needle in the haystack for that video that you're really looking for. You can go to For the Pro and drill right to it, have a 2-minute video, and know what you need to do.
Yeah, and if the contractor who's out in the field working on a job, whatever hour it is not comfortable with technology, maybe doesn't have the connectivity they need to get to it, they can call the 24/7 tech support line. We're really proud of that, and the experts that are there to help people through whatever hour of the day, 7 days a week, to help them address any issues they might be having in the field with installation or service or maintenance.
And I've seen that firsthand. I'm glad you brought that up, Carl, because I've seen that inside the ITEC Center, actually. And I don't know if that's changed, but that last time I was at Bradford White, that's where your 24/7 tech support was working from as well. And they're there. I mean, the bodies are there. They're staffed. It's not an overseas call or anything like that. You're calling into Middleville, Michigan, and getting live help at our 24/7 help with our phone line.
Absolutely right. These guys are, so ITEC, which is a big part of the training mission, is adjacent to the factory. I mean, these guys are right across the street from the Middleville, Michigan plant. Also within the ITEC is a live fire lab. So not only these guys technical experts in terms of what they do and how they can walk people through what they're having challenges with, they've got a lab they can go next door for their continuous training, or actually look at a piece of equipment as they're talking to you that you may be looking at the same time.
Wow.
On that particular equipment.
So they have hands-on help, basically. They have the product right there in front of them. Yeah, wow, absolutely. That's great.
Yeah.
So speaking to, go ahead, Carl.
With ITEC, you mentioned ITEC, and that being kind of where our technical support is provided. It's also the hub for the training that we do.
That's exactly what I was going to bring up, is our ITEC Center, which is the International Technical Excellence Center, located in Middleville, Michigan. We've talked a lot so far, Carl, about the commitment to the contractor that Bradford White, puts forth, and ITEC's a huge part of that. We can train you on For the Pro. We, the reps, of course, are happy to meet with contractors and wholesalers and do that training. But tell us a little bit more about the ITEC Center, because there's a huge advantage to getting that contractor or customer up to Middleville, Michigan, not only to see the plant, but to get the training in the ITEC Center. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Sure. Well, certainly going to ITEC is really a great experience. You can have an opportunity to check out the plant if your schedule permits, but and with things opening up now, we're starting to have more opportunities to get people into the plant, back into ITEC. But there's a live fire lab there, and you're working with a variety of products in a live fire situation with technical experts that can help you. But also recognizing that not everybody has the time to get to ITEC. I mean, contractors, they are so busy. We've really taken ITEC to some degree on the road, if you will, through either our own field services staff that are out there. We have trainers throughout the country that will go to customer locations to do training. We use the support and great services of representatives like you who have their own facilities in some cases to bring in training, to use either your experts or Bradford White experts to come in to talk about products. And then there's broadcasts that are actually done from ITEC, so we can do that too. Professionals can reach out. There's if you go to the bradfordwhite.com, there's a whole section on trainings where you can reach out and request training that is targeted to your needs, and that can be arranged either locally or via a webinar with the ITEC team. They're doing some really cool stuff out of there now, training crew. And then lastly, on the training front, we put together the For the Pro Training Academy last year. We actually took all of our training, put it under that umbrella, but we created the For the Pro Training Academy brand. So ITEC is the place where that takes place and originates and is created, but they put together the whole e-learning platform that we launched last year. And as you can imagine, e-learning was gaining in popularity, and then suddenly nobody can go anywhere.
Yeah,
everybody's ultra busy, but the training is still needed. So how do we deliver it? We put together pretty quickly the Training Academy platform and some of the initial content that's been released. So a lot of ways to get to the training. And
Indeed.
And you know, some people consume it better online, long distance, face to face. So we're trying to make sure we cover all those bases.
And where is the e-learning platform? Is it connected right onto the website of Bradford White? How did they get to the platform?
All right. What you need to do is register for the Pro.
Okay.
So you can register for, there's no cost to do that. There's no cost for the e-learning, not really any of this training, but you go in and register for the Pro. Once you're into that, there are links in there to get you into the Training Academy.
Okay, perfect.
The Training Academy, you can take a look at the menu of different training options that are there, and that is constantly updated. We're trying to release new modules on a pretty regular basis to coincide with new product releases, product updates. We're looking to try to expand into some training that can help contractors maybe better understand the regulatory environment, because that right now is directing a lot of where we're going to go as manufacturers.
Sure.
The contractors are going to need to go in terms of the equipment that they'll be putting in the future. So go to For the Pro, and easy to follow instructions to get you to the academy.
Yeah, and we would love the opportunity now that ITEC is open, correct, Carl? I mean, are we back? I mean, I don't know if you have a date scheduled yet, but is ITEC opening up at this point, or is it still? Are we still in a holding pattern at the moment?
There are. I understand there are some classes that are scheduled.
Okay, good.
They have even started. I was in Middleville about 2 weeks ago, so I think they were getting ready to start those up again.
That's exciting, because we
would the last week or it's coming up, but yeah, they want to get back into that. The requests are there to get back into Middleville, into the ITEC Center. We want to use it. We have a great classroom set up in there. Again, the live fire lab and a mechanical room that is quite honestly jaw-dropping when you go walking through it. It shows almost every product that Bradford White makes in application.
Wow.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, they got everything fired, everything's hooked up, it's live. And also that classroom that Carl's mentioned a couple of times, this is a stadium seating 64 seat classroom.
Correct.
So we can take a large group of contractors or wholesalers up to the ITEC Center for training. So it's exciting, Carl, to know that that it's opening back up and that we can do some scheduling, hopefully here in the near future, with our contractor base and with our wholesalers. And we're excited to get back to Bradford White. That's great news.
I can appreciate how customers feel when they go there and they see the plant. I've been with Bradford White going on 10 years. I get out there a couple of times a year, and I have to admit, every time I go, I get fired up about it. I get excited about seeing the plant, seeing the constant evolution of the plant, what's changing there, the improvements to not only ITEC but the factory. There's something new every time I go, and it's just real exciting to be a part of that.
It's one of the more exciting plant tours for me anyway. And I love plant tours. I love to see manufacturing and see how things are made. And I've been to some that it's kind of, but the Bradford White's fun. It's a fun one to see because you're seeing people also in the plant. It's not a fully automated plant. So you're seeing, I believe, United Auto Workers working in the plant there.
That's correct. There's roughly 1,500 people employed at the Middleville location.
That's awesome.
Wow.
That's outstanding.
They're producing a lot of water heaters every day. There's the new R&D lab was recently opened, and we'll be putting out a couple of news items about that soon, talking a little bit about some of the things that are going on at the R&D lab. Some of it is geared around meeting some of the challenges that we see on the regulatory front in terms of the new products that are going to be needed, particularly with all of the decarbonization, electrification legislation that's going on in different places, some coming sooner than later. So there's a lot going on in there. There's a lot of R&D within that advanced R&D lab going on relative to what we get from the field every day. And in terms of the improvements, as part of our continuous improvement policy, we take that VOC and are always looking to make very good products better.
Yeah,
that's great.
You do a great job already, and
thank you.
Absolutely.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So what else is coming up on the horizon, Carl? Anything else new and exciting?
So you will start to see with the 30th anniversary. I did mention that we are launching For the Pros as a testament to that commitment to the professional contractor. But you're going to start to see some ad campaigns around it. You'll start to see some editorials on that around the late June, July timeframe, coming out and just reminding people that, hey, we're here, we're committed, looking forward to the next 30 years, but I think it's an exciting time. We all feel pretty energized right now because we're getting back out to see customers. Said I've been out to a couple of customer events in the last few weeks, and what was really great to hear were people coming up and saying, it's so great to be able to get the Bradford White products. Look, we had challenges. There were challenges by all manufacturers throughout the height of the pandemic, whether it was personnel related or supply chain related. And there were times where our customers could not get a Bradford White product.
Right.
We all know that. And we did everything that we could to keep them in product, even if it was not our own. And we understood they had a job to do and they had customers to take care of. And if we couldn't get them a Bradford White, we do what we could to help them identify other sources. And now it's really awesome to hear, got my Bradford White, they're there, the products are there, I can get them. I don't have to use this thing anymore.
Yep.
That's pretty neat to hear.
Right.
Yeah, seeing those lead times come down and all that sure makes it a lot more fun to sell, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it just puts us in a better position to have a good time doing what we're doing.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, it's about doing the right thing, and look, loyalty begets loyalty.
Right.
And I feel really good about when I hear those conversations with our customers that are so appreciative of what we've done and what we've tried to do to keep them whole.
Right.
It makes me go home and I feeling pretty good about the long days and the calls and what we do to make that happen.
Yep. Doing what's best for them, even if it's not your product. I mean, that's
whatever it takes.
That's fantastic. Yeah, absolutely.
And quite honestly, when we look at bringing people in to work at Bradford White and to represent Bradford White, that's what we expect. Nothing less is acceptable. Customer focus is paramount.
Well, we are extremely proud to represent Bradford White. You have that American
we're
strong.
proud to have you.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that. But I see that American Strong logo right behind you, Carl, and that's something that I'm incredibly proud of. And so just proud to represent Bradford White. It's an incredible, great story, an employee-owned company. Congratulations on 30 years. That's awesome.
Thank you.
And thank you for continuing to produce wonderful water heaters for the trade.
Just for the audience, I know a lot of our customers will come to you and then we'll talk to you about their feedback. But we have, if they're in the For the Pro site, there's a feedback mechanism. They can send us an email that we'll get directly on ideas they have to either improve the content of our website, product ideas, anything that's on their mind. Says, hey, Bradford White, do this. Why don't you do this? Or I have an idea. We want to hear it. And we'll talk to anybody at any time about what they think will that we can do better.
That's great.
We can do better to help them.
That's that commitment to the professional.
You got it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Carl, so much. This has been such a great conversation. We are so excited to celebrate along with Bradford White and their incredible anniversary coming up in July. It's July 1st. Is that correct?
July 2nd.
July 2nd. Okay.
Yeah.
30th anniversary, July 2nd.
Mark your calendars.
That's right.
Yeah. So,
And
30th will be 30. Yeah, July 2nd. It's 30 years.
30 years.
Commitment to the professional.
Absolutely.
And, look for the ads, look for the campaigns, look for the messaging. It'll all be showing up soon. We're working on all that material now. Obviously, for those who get involved with the marketing stuff, know that those things that are due in June and July we're working on.
Oh,
now.
I understand.
Yeah. That would be the marketing person.
Right.
So.
I understand all those things. Yes,
Absolutely.
very, very well. Well, for more information, again, please reach out to PM and Associates. You can always give us a call at 317-827-0419 or look for us online at p-massoc.com. Thank you again, Carl. This has been such a great conversation and we can't wait to have you on again soon.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the time, and I want to extend, best wishes to all the customers that are going to be listening to this broadcast, and just say thank you. Thank you for your commitment to your profession and your loyalty to Bradford White. It is truly appreciated.
Well said, Carl. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day, Carl.
Take
You
care,
too.
Carl.
See you guys.